Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment. It is time for my Week 11 picks and predictions. Last week was pretty good. I went 10-4 and damn it, I was close to even being better than that, but some games just quite did not go my way. But this week, I like our chances, but man, it's a tough week. A lot of road teams are compelling me to pick them, and that's a very dangerous strategy, but I'm gonna do it anyway. We're gonna start with the biggest game for me this week, the Tennessee Titans at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I am a Titans fan, and damn it, this is the biggest game of our season. Okay, if we really want to prove that we are a Super Bowl contender, this is a game of which we must win. And as the week started to creep closer and closer to this game, I started to convince myself more and more that the Tennessee Titans might win this football game. But do I actually have the balls to come on here and predict it to all of you? Nope. Okay, I just can't do it. Look, the Steelers are vulnerable. They're not perfect, okay? They've been barely beating some teams that they should be blowing out, like the Indianapolis Colts last week, and they've lost to teams such as the Chicago Bears and the Jacksonville Jaguars this season. But what do the Bears and the Jaguars have in common? Their defenses are really, really good, capable of shutting down the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Titans' defense, not so much. It's decent. It's not bad. It's not horrible. I know they had the horrible game against the Houston Texans, but as I told you during that week, that was not an indication of anything, and guess what, guys? It has not been an indicator of anything. Listen to me a bit more next time. So, the defense is decent, but can they really shut down the Steelers? Let's say the Titans go up in this game. Can they stop Antonio Brown from coming with a slant 80-yard touchdown like AJ Green had last week? You know, can they stop that from happening? Can they stop Juju Smith-Schuster? Can they stop Le'Veon Bell for 4 quarters consistently? Keep them from taking the lead and winning this game? I just can't see it. I think our offense is going to step up in this game more than some of you are projecting, but the Steelers are going to keep coming back and ultimately come back and win this game. I think we're going to have control for most of this game, but the Steelers are actually going to take advantage and win the game. So give me the Steelers to win this game, but if the Titans can win this game, they are contenders, boy. We got to start talking about them, and man, people are going to be happy in Tennessee, and I'm going to love it. We move on to the Sunday games. We have the Detroit Lions at the Chicago Bears, and man, the Bears let me down last week. I saw a comment in the comment section saying, man, you don't respect the Bears when I picked them to win last week, okay? And they let me down. Why would I respect the Chicago Bears? Look, okay, I don't know what the hell happened. They let Brett Hundley look like a real NFL quarterback, but the Bears have shown an ability to be quite resilient this season. They're at home where they've been dangerous this season. The Lions, on the other hand, are exactly where I thought they'd be. They're 5-4 at this point, which is better than what I thought they'd be, but they've gotten lucky because Brett Hundley starting for the Packers, and the Vikings weren't really hot early in the season. I had the Lions starting 3-6 this season. They would have if Aaron Rodgers was healthy and the Vikings had gotten going earlier this season. Give me the Bears to win this game in Chicago. I don't think that they're better than the Lions by any means, but in Chicago, they're very dangerous. They lost last week. They're going to be motivated to win this week. Give me the Bears to win this game. Jacksonville Jaguars at the Cleveland Browns. And again, look, I said last week, I would not be surprised at all if the Browns pull this game out and win this game. Look, the Chargers went to Cleveland last year, okay, and they thought, we're going to face Cleveland no problem week 16, and they ended up getting the L. The Jaguars have been very inconsistent this year. They've had 3 losses. None of them made any damn sense, okay? They got their ass kicked by the Tennessee Titans. The other 2 losses, I can't even remember, okay, but they made no damn sense, okay? Relax. So I wouldn't be shocked, but I'm not going to pick it, right? You got to pick the Jags to go to Cleveland and win here. But at any moment, the Jags offense could just seize up, okay? And they could do absolutely nothing. And when that occurs, you have to be careful because that's going to mean that the game that they're playing could be an L for them. Look out for that, but I have the Jags beating the Cleveland Browns here. At least Deshaun Kaiser looking decent, but you got to get rid of Hugh Jackson ASAP in Cleveland. Players, please, dear God, please do it. Next game, Baltimore Ravens at the Green Bay Packers. And hey, the Green Bay Packers got a victory last week. They beat the Chicago Bears, and that was a nice victory for them. But I just can't see it happening 2 weeks in a row. The Ravens have shown an ability this year where they went to Oakland to go beat a team that they should, okay? They should have beat Oakland without Derek Carr, and they did. And I liked that formula for success. They're coming off of a bye week last week. They had time to regroup. They should get this done in Green Bay because Green Bay, despite their win against Chicago last week, without Aaron Rodgers, they're just not much of anything. So give me the Baltimore Ravens to beat Green Bay in Green Bay. Next game, we have the Arizona Cardinals at the Houston Texans. And speaking of teams that are nothing without their starting quarterback, look at the Houston Texans, who are nothing without Deshaun Watson. Man, who thought this would be the story before the year? And it doesn't make any damn sense because last year they were something without Deshaun Watson. They had Tom Savage, they had Brock Osweiler, and they were winning games. They went 9-7 with a negative point differential, but they went 9-7. They won the AFC South. Now they can't do anything. Whatever. Okay, so this doesn't make any damn sense. Eventually, they have to win with this guy. I think so. I don't think they're going to go 3-13, although I know from far away the Cleveland Browns are hoping that they do because remember, the Browns had the Texans pick. I'm picking the Cardinals because the Cardinals have shown me that they can win without their quarterback, that they can win without their running back. Adrian Peterson, every other week, has over 130 rushing yards. Why? I don't know. With the Cardinals, he does have this. So they're dangerous for some reason, although it doesn't make much sense with Drew Stanton and Adrian Peterson and Larry Fitzgerald. That lineup does not excite me, but they're doing something. They're doing something whereas the Houston Texans are doing nothing. Without Deshaun Watson, they're doing nothing. They're getting the ass kicked and they're losing to the Indianapolis Colts in Houston. So giving the Cardinals to win here, I don't love it. But one thing that I also don't love for the Texans, Will Fuller is out for this game. Patrick Peterson is not out for this game. He should, if anyone can, slow down DeAndre Hopkins. Probably not shut him down, but slow him down. So you're talking about 0 weapons for Tom Savage to throw to. I think the Cardinals should get this done. We have the LA Rams at the Minnesota Vikings. Tough game. Look, I picked against the Vikings last week because they were on the road. And my rule of thumb is I love to pick the Vikings at home. I love it. Any opportunity I get to, I do. But the LA Rams are coming to town, man, and they're a top 5 team in the NFL. They just keep blowing folks out. On the road, they're 4-0 this year. Okay, so if anyone can beat the Vikings in Minnesota, I think it's the Rams. This is going to be the second time I picked against the Vikings in Minnesota this year. The other time it didn't work out. But I have to do it because, man, the Rams are looking good. And eventually, you know, although I think the Vikings will win the NFC North, eventually not having the quarterback or running back you anticipated before the season should hurt you a bit. Okay, and they should rack up some L's. They should, right? I mean, I'd be really surprised if this Viking team goes 12-4, 13-3 this year. Although they're barreling towards those records. So give me the Rams to win this game because I think they are that legitimate 12-13 win team, whereas the Vikings are a 10-11 win team. But we'll see, because again, the Vikings are on pace for that 12-4, 13-3. We have the Washington Redskins at the New Orleans Saints, and how could you pick against the Saints? You just can't. No. I refuse to let anyone pick against the New Orleans Saints. I don't care who they're facing in the entire league. They're way too damn hot. They're running over everybody. They went to Buffalo last week and they dropped 40 against one of the best defenses in the NFL. I refuse to let anyone in this galaxy pick against New Orleans. I'm picking New Orleans until this winning streak comes to an end. They are way too dominant right now. And as for the Redskins, watch as they win this game, because it made no sense for them to go to Seattle and win, and yet this is what they did. So I'm looking out for the Redskins, right? They're dangerous. Kirk Cousins can make some plays, but I just can't pick against the Saints right now. They're too hot right now. We move on to the next game. We have the Kansas City Chiefs at the New York Giants. Chiefs coming off of a bye week. Andy Reid, head coach of the Chiefs, coming off of a bye week. You cannot pick against this man. You would be nuts to pick against Andy Reid and his team coming off of the damn bye. I don't know what his record is, but I can tell you it's dominant. The Giants stink, and they let me down last week as they lost to the San Francisco 49ers, the lowly San Francisco 49ers. Give me the Chiefs to beat the New York Giants, who are barreling towards the top 2 pick in the 2018 NFL Draft. Who the hell saw that coming? We move on to the next game. But here's a nice thing, real quick. Giants could have Odell Beckham and Saquon Barkley. Ooh. Next game, we have the Buffalo Bills at the LA Chargers, and the Bills. Look, I projected last week that they would make the playoffs, but now their asses are pushing it, okay, as they got their asses kicked last week in Buffalo to the New Orleans Saints, which isn't a big deal because the Saints are playing great. But then they respond by benching Tyrod Taylor for Nathan Peterman, okay? And Nathan Peterman is as white as the name would suggest, okay? This guy, and that's not an indictment, it's just funny. Look, he's gonna be fine, but this is the guy you want to lead your playoff push. You're doing fine. If the Raiders start winning games, y'all are in trouble. Lucky for you, the Chargers couldn't win last week, okay? So now they're pretty much out of the AFC wildcard race. The Dolphins, they got their ass kicked too. They're pretty much out of it. I mean, they're still in it, but they're not going to do anything. The Raiders are the team you really need to look out for, and then perhaps the Chargers or the Dolphins will get on a winning streak, but I have to see it to believe it. The Bills should still make the playoffs, but they're traveling now to the LA Chargers. If the Bills can win this game, I think they knock out the Chargers from the race. I think the Chargers, 7 losses, I think that's too many. They can't bounce back. That's it. If they lose this, the Chargers will be back in this thing. And I got the Chargers being back in this thing. I got the Chargers beating the Bills. Look, the Chargers let me down last week. I got the Chargers beating the Jags, and they should have. Okay, because this Austin Eckler fumbled, and Anthony Lynn doesn't know what he's doing, and he just looks around like a big monkey gorilla. It's ridiculous what's going on in LA. But they should win this. You know, Nathan Peterman starting. It's in LA. They lose 3 games in a row. They win 3 games in a row. They lose 3 games in a row. That's like their thing. So give me the Chargers to win this one. But I'm pretty sure I'm like 2-7 picking Charger games this year. So, yeah. Next game, we have the Cincinnati Bengals at the Denver Broncos. The most difficult game for me to pick this week. The Broncos stink. They've lost 5 straight games. They're talking about firing Vance Joseph, whom they hired. And I said last year, why would you hire this guy? I mean, I made a whole video about this when they hired Vance Joseph. Look, this guy was an underwhelming defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins. Yes, the players like him. He's the players' coach. He underwhelmed. The defense was 24th or something, like maybe even 27th last year in Miami. This is the guy you're hiring. He's incompetent. Okay, that's what you should have recognized. He knows nothing about offense. He's not going to help the offense, which you severely needed help in. And now the defense sucks. Okay, so just incompetency in Denver. If you want to fire him, I mean, that's fine. You shouldn't have hired him. So it's just like you're just getting rid of that mistake. But it's just ridiculous. I mean, now the Denver Broncos are getting rid of their coach after 1 year. This team that's been stable, that's been winning a Super Bowl recently, and now they're going through this disarray. It's horrible. I can't pick them because when I really wanted to pick them here because, look, they're in Denver. The Bengals aren't great. But I just look back to that New York Giants loss. It's now 5 weeks ago, yes, but I look back at that New York Giants loss, and I'm like, damn, dude, the Giants stink. Like, they just lost to the 49ers, right? And I hate playing this mathematical game, by the way, because as I always say, it doesn't matter. As I always say, this mathematical game does not matter. When you start saying that this team lost to that team's bad, so that means that this team's going to lose to that team, you're getting into some trouble, because that's not always going to be the case. For example, the Titans kick the Jaguars' asses, the Texans kick the Titans' asses, and the Jaguars kick the Texans' asses. Okay, it just doesn't make any damn sense sometimes. So I hate doing that, but the fact of the matter is, because the Broncos are on this 5-game losing streak and they lost to the second worst team in the NFL, I have to pick them to lose here, because if they could not win that one, I can't see them winning this one. But again, watch as this mathematical nonsense doesn't work, because as I tell you guys, it really doesn't work. I'm going to pick the Bengals here because they have more going for them than the Broncos do right now, but watch as everything flips around this week. Next game is the New England Patriots at the Oakland Raiders in Mexico City, okay? So this is a very interesting game here. Raiders off of a bye week, which I love for them. And if they want to save their season, they must win this game. Huge game for the Oakland Raiders. But I just can't pick it. The Patriots are rolling, people. They're rolling. They're hot. And I think when they're rolling like this, you just can't pick against them. They're way too dominant right now. But again, I'm looking out for the Raiders in this game. I think it's going to be high scoring. I have it being 35-31 New England. But I have it being New England, my Super Bowl winner still. Next game, we have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Dallas Cowboys, the main event of the week. Now, I want to get into this topic, okay, because this is the topic right now. Carson Wentz versus Dak Prescott, as this continues to be a topic of debate. And as I said, And this is irrefutable to me. I don't care what anyone says. And I don't understand why people don't understand this concept of better. Or maybe we all, as a universe, need to agree on what the word better means, especially in the realm of sports. So, because Carson Wentz is now better than Dak Prescott, the argument is that he was always better than Dak Prescott. When it's obvious, people, that Carson Wentz has done this thing called improving. You are allowed, as a person, as a sportsman, as a quarterback in this realm of the universe, to improve. You can get better. Just because now Carson Wentz is playing so much better than Dak Prescott, that does not mean that as a rookie, Carson Wentz was better than Dak Prescott. But with all that said, now Carson Wentz is better than Dak Prescott. We can agree upon that now, okay? Watch us next season. Dak plays better than Carson Wentz, and then Dak is better. It can go back and forth. It's not a definite thing. It's very indefinite. It's very fluid. You need to look out for it. It's all fluid. Look, Chris Johnson, okay, for example, Chris Johnson, the running back for the Tennessee Titans, in his peak, he was the best running back in the league. Maybe Adrian Peterson was better, maybe. Okay, but then 2 years after that, you can make that argument anymore because he was not. It's fluid. That's just what the hell it is. So, Eagles at Cowboys. Cowboys, they couldn't win last week in Atlanta. And I told you without Zeke, they're not going to win. I know now Tyron Smith is out. Chaz Green was starting, and he allowed 6 sacks to Adrian Claiborne. Okay, what is he going to allow to the Philadelphia Eagles, whose defense is dominant, man? They're in trouble. And the Cowboys don't understand that. At least they're at home. Okay, and who knows, maybe Ezekiel Elliott's going to get some sort of restraining order, injunction, legal mumbo jumbo this week. But until that happens, I got to pick the Eagles to win this game off of a bye. Hopefully that bye did not slow them down, because the Eagles will slow down, people. That's just the unfortunate truth. It's very unfortunate. And that's why, as a NFL fan, of a team, when the Titans were underwhelming early in the season, I said good, because we're underwhelming and we're winning games. When we hit our stride, we could zoom all the way to the playoffs, maybe the Super Bowl or something. I didn't really think that's going to happen, but it's possible. Whereas the Eagles, they're going to slow down. That Cowboys last year, slow down. It's just the Chiefs this year, slow down. You're going to slow down. You hope this isn't the game that starts that. It could be. The bye week has been the starter for that in the past, so look out for that. But I have the Eagles winning this game. And then final game, Atlanta Falcons at the Seattle Seahawks. Monday Night Football game. Nice games we have here. Patriots, Raiders, Eagles, Cowboys, Falcons, Seahawks. Nice weekend of football. And hey, Titans, Steelers, 6-3 at 7-2 team. Good slate of games this week. So, give me the Seahawks. They're at home. Richard Sherman is out, Achilles. I don't love that. Okay, so we need to look out for that. And I think the Falcons will cover the spread in this game. But the Seahawks system is still really dominant. And the Falcons, Devontae Freeman may be out. Tevin Coleman is all right. And there's no denying that. But I think the Seahawks should do enough to win this game in Seattle. So there you go. Those are my Week 11 picks and predictions. What are yours? Comment down below. I want to know. I will come out with a mock draft in the upcoming days, because now my schedule is being freed as Thanksgiving break is about to start for me. So I'm happy about that. Until next time, it's been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.